Hello everybody. I know it's been a while, but been keeping kind of busy, and I have some news. After going through some of my previous photos from 2 to 3 years ago, I was kind of wondering what the difference was between all the models and makes of camera equipment that I did have. And I came to the conclusion that one camera is the best for what I do. And let's just show you a few examples, as I do have some of my own 13 by 19 prints up here on the wall. So these are some of the prints that I've taken around the Miami Beach area. I'll go to a little bit of a wider view here, hopefully. Well, maybe not. And these were all taken with various cameras. Okay. They're all printed on the Epson P700 printer, which maximum size is 13 inches. None of these are posed. They're basically all action shots. And when I was looking through the pictures that I've taken, like I say, over the last couple of years, and through Sony, Nikon, Canon, and my last equipment that I had was the Olympus OM1. I was looking through all my favorites, and I came to realize there really isn't that much difference as far as the camera and resolutions that I've used before. And while I'm over here, this is the printer that I use with the photo paper underneath. And of course, the Sony RX10 Mark IV. Okay, which is the camera that I'm hopefully going to use. Don't mind Bernie Sanders there, he's just one of the books that I have. And hopefully something that I'll stick with. Also, I use my TV display, which goes through a loop of my favorite pictures as well. And the reason for making this video was just to show that no matter what camera system you have to use what's best suited for you. And the reason I went back to the Sony RX10 Mark IV was and is the best camera for me for what I do. I do go on walks. I carry the camera with me at all times. And it just made sense to have a 24 to 600 lens with me whenever the situation might arise. And what best camera to do that than the RX10 Mark IV with that 24 to 600 reach and the 2.4 to 4.0 aperture. And as far as cameras in its realm, a 1-inch sensor, which is larger than some of the other super zooms, as they like to call them. And again, I've been into the full frame, APS-C, micro four thirds, all the various lenses, bodies. And it just was a realization that I was happiest with the Sony. It was always there. It gave me the best experience, an all-in-one camera. And it taught me to be a little bit more careful when I frame my image so I wouldn't have to crop as much. Also to pay more attention to my surroundings and not just relying on megapixels and maybe really not caring about the composing of the picture itself, which was probably a detriment to some extent. But this camera does a lot, and it's what, 6, 7 years old, and it's maintained the same retail price albeit whenever the odd time they have a small discount. Luckily, I got mine through eBay from somebody who really didn't use the camera that much, along with a external battery charger, extra battery, and a remote release at a substantial difference from the retail price. So I was lucky there. But again, for me, it is a camera, hopefully, that I'll stay with for a long period of time. So I just wanted to let you know the abilities of this camera, but also that maybe what you have is the best thing you will have, rather than trying to go through the gear acquisition syndrome and what have you. And for me, and again, just saying from my point of view, being a portable device and having a lot of the benefits that it does have versus having interchangeable lenses, the weight, the cost, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's very favorable to my photographic needs. And again, I can still print the 13x19s. Some of the prints that you saw were taken by this camera. Now I might have to, work with them a little, which I do with the Photoshop Express. And this is my tool right here, iPad. And I also use the Photomator app as well. So everything's basically in a easy to carry, easy to use type of bundle that I can carry with me at all times. And the only thing I can carry, of course, is the printer. Of course. But if you haven't tried it, and I don't get paid for this, I'm just giving you my 2 cents. The Sony RX10 is a great camera for somebody that, what do they call that? Well, but a master of none. Maybe a master sometimes. Anyway, go out and walk around with the camera. You never know what you might come up against, or something you might not have experienced, or something that comes up suddenly. And that's why I keep these prints on my wall, just to remind me not to stay inside, but to get out, experience life, and something might surprise you.